I want to tell you about my friend. His name is Pain. Maybe you know him. Maybe he's not your friend. Maybe you hate him. But he's my friend. He could be your friend too. And Pain is my friend. Pain is a teacher. Pain is a healer. Let me tell you a little bit about Pain. Pain is evolutionarily very expensive. If you're trying to design a creature, you don't want it to be suffering and a lot of pain, or it's going to lose the will to live. That's not what you want. You want your creature to survive and thrive and reproduce. That's the goal of all biology. Pain requires some energy from the body. It requires that the body has created some sort of apparatus to detect the pain-causing condition and send it along signals, along wires to the brain, and then burden the creature with the task of dealing with that pain, suffering it, or resolving it, or understanding it. This whole process is very expensive, and evolution would not create this without a very good reason. And what is the reason? The reason is, there can be many reasons, but maybe the most obvious reason is tissue damage. If something in your body is being damaged, often your body will let you know through pain. This is like leaving your hand on a hot stove, the classic example. Or just getting a cut, getting a paper cut, getting a knife slicing through part of your leg or something. Anything, any damage of your skin or things inside your body will feel pain. Now, a lot of things, you can't do anything about it. A lot of things can go wrong in the internals inside your body, but you don't feel it when it's going wrong immediately because your body can't benefit from you doing anything about it. So it doesn't let you feel that pain. It just tries to fix it on its own. If it can't do that, over time, it'll start, creating damage in other places, and eventually you'll feel something's terribly wrong. But my point is that it just goes to show that pain is allocated very carefully in your body to places where you can do something about it. If you left your hand on a hot stove and you got this terrible burning pain, it's going to teach you not to put your hand on hot stoves. It doesn't teach you right away. It doesn't spell it out. It doesn't tell you anything about stoves. You actually have to figure it out yourself. All it tells you is the pain. It tells you damage is happening, something's wrong, figure it out. You have to figure it out. And you can decide to ignore it if you want. Which is useful because sometimes you're in pain, but you have to just keep pushing through it because something very important is happening that's more important than avoiding a little bit of damage in part of your body. Like maybe you're hunting and chasing down your food, and maybe your ankle starts to bother you, but if you just push a little bit further, you're going to catch the thing. So you can push through the pain and ignore it for a little while. But usually the longer you ignore pain, the worse it gets. And it's your body's way of telling you, hey, you need to stop this, you need to stop this, you're damaging me. Pain comes in different types. Some pain is very quick and intense, like maybe your skin got pinched, like you shut it in a door or something, and your body says, ouch, you caused damage. And that pain is going to cause you to think about what happened and how you caused that damage, and make you not do it again in the future if you can avoid it. But something like a burn, it's a much longer, drawn out sort of pain. Your skin will be so damaged that it'll be tender and sore and sting for days or weeks maybe. And pain that lasts longer is also for a reason. That's your body's way of telling you, hey, this thing you did is really, really bad. You caused some serious damage here, and you need to not do that. So when you feel that pain in that same area, day after day after day, it keeps hurting, and you keep babying that area, and you avoid any sort of damage, or you'll definitely avoid like putting the hand on the stove, but you also won't put the hand anywhere because it just hurts all the time. And this not only trains you to not put your hand on things because of the damage, to give it time to heal and recover, but it's also training something in your mind about how bad that pain was in the first place, like what you did in the first place. So it reinforces it. Because if I just tell you don't do this thing, and you say, okay, yeah, I won't do that thing. But if I tell you don't do this thing like every minute of every day for a week straight, yeah, you're going to remember, you're going to get it. So that's the purpose of longer term pain, to make sure you stop doing that thing. A lot of people think pain is the enemy. But pain is your own body talking to you. Pain is not the damage. And you want to hear what your body has to say because it's telling you some very important things. You ignore it at your own peril. Some people habitually ignore their pain. They think they're weak if they're in pain. So if they just tough it out, then they'll prove themselves, or they'll show how tough they are or something. But it's only going to cause more damage. Some people run to medications as quickly as possible. At the first sign of a headache, they're going to go get that Tylenol or Advil. I don't use those drugs. If I get a headache or I have some sort of pain, I allow it and sit with it. And it's an amazing thing our body does. These sort of vague aches and pains are trying to teach us something, and it's often not obvious what it is, like something like a headache. But what does a headache make you do? It makes you want to, if you really listen to it and try to soothe it, you're going to go into like a dark room, close your eyes, try to like reduce sensations, and just get this headache to calm down. So it's teaching you to rest. And it's teaching you that something was too much. Something was stressing you, overstimulating. You know, often it happens when maybe you're at a loud concert or a very stressful work situation, or you were rushing around trying to get things done. These are the times that headaches usually come. And if people get headaches a lot, usually it's because they're ignoring this stress and they just keep doing the stress over and over and over. So the body, of course, tells you, hey, this is not good. This is hurting you. And the longer you put up with that and ignore it, the more your body's going to deteriorate. And you're going to say, I get chronic headaches. I get migraines. I know migraines are worse than normal headaches, but I've never suffered migraines, so I can't speak about them from personal experience, but it seems to me all these things in your mind that are long-term, that make you suffer, are things your body is trying to tell you. Wisdom from ancient times, wisdom trying to get you to act and behave and change your environment to something that's better suited for your body. People think they're helpless because they think they're in this job, they have to do what the boss says, but I mean, you always have some ability to make adjustments or major changes if you need to. You need to quit your job maybe, if it's really that bad. But pain is my friend, pain is my teacher. Pain tells me that something's wrong. It doesn't tell me exactly what's wrong. I often have to figure it out. Many times I don't know for a very long time. It could be months, sometimes even years, that some certain pain is bothering me and I can't figure it out. But it's always something. I always figure it out eventually. Because the longer you keep having the pain, the longer you focus on that and you keep thinking about it and you think and think and think. And as you go through your life, you see what you're doing day to day. What am I doing every day that sort of is related to this part of my body or this way that my brain is feeling? And over time, you do little experiments, you try little adjustments, and eventually you figure it out. It's really amazing. Your body can talk to you without speaking English. It doesn't speak English. It can't spell it out and explain to you what's going wrong. You got to figure it out, which takes some work. But the pain lets you know you got to keep trying. You got to keep focusing on it and doing your best. Eventually you'll get it. Now, there is a dark side to pain because the body isn't perfect. And yeah, things can go wrong. I feel very blessed that I feel like my body is operating in a very functional and correct way, that nothing's gone horribly, terribly wrong where I'm just in miserable pain all the time for some horrible reason, like some mutation or some disease that I can't do anything about, that your body is just sending pain because something's short-circuited, something's gone haywire, you understand? So I'm not saying that all pain is good. That's not true. Pain is not inherently good. I mean, it's like any person isn't inherently good. Pain is not inherently good or bad. It's just a language. It's a way that your body communicates with you. So in that way, pain is my friend. Just like my friends are not always good, pain is not always good, but to listen to it seems wise and very good. So that's why pain is your teacher and pain is your friend. Maybe you agree with me now after hearing me explain it. I'm not totally against the use of drugs. There may be cases where the pain's overwhelming and intolerable. So modern medicine can let us escape if we need to. But modern medicine didn't exist for basically any of our evolutionary history. So we had to endure the pain. That's part of what it means to be human. That's part of what it is to live. And if you notice how animals deal with pain, they don't fear pain. I mean, they might fear certain behaviors that they have learned will cause pain. But when pain happens, they just sort of react to it and sort of like look at it and then sort of relax and go back to what they're doing. And they're not afraid of pain itself. When pain happens, it's a signal. It's a communication that their body has with them, just like our body does with us. Just that we're so good at resisting and fighting, arguing with our pain. No, I'm going to be in control. I decide what I do. You don't decide. But your body's a machine. It's subject to the laws of physics. It has certain limitations. It has some great capabilities, and you can use those. But it also has limitations, and you have to be aware of those. And a good way to know what the limitations of your body are is what causes pain. One of your joints maybe is starting to bother you. Maybe think about how you're using it. Are you putting too much strain on it? Are you doing some unnatural activity? Are you lifting more than is evolutionarily expected by your body and certain habits that you have in your day? This is the thing you got to think about. A whole nother topic is things like emotional pain. Yeah, trauma, memories, things that hurt when you think about them from your past. A lot of people just avoid thinking about them because it hurts. Who wants to suffer? Who wants to feel pain? But that pain's there for a reason. It's there for you to think about what went wrong. It'll protect you from that thing happening again if you can really figure it out. And yeah, it takes a really long time and you have to suffer. But what happens if you ignore that emotional pain? It just keeps building. It gets worse. Then it starts leaking out to other parts of your body. Your physical body can start to break down and suffer in different ways because of emotional pain that you've just ignored constantly over and over again. I don't mean that you should torture yourself. I don't mean that you should, oh, I'm always going to think about all my emotional pain all the time because pain is good and I need to just clutch onto the pain. No, I mean approach the pain and communicate with it gently, like a friend. When it's there, you notice it. You say hello. You don't fear it. You don't hide it. You don't run from it. You don't embrace it and promote it. You just observe it and think about it. What is it trying to tell you, to teach you? Because it's always something. Now, your brain does have a capability to harden over the pain if you bury it long enough. Because some people, it's so painful that they can't face it. It's too painful. They can't face it. They can't tolerate it. And your body can deal with that too. And I guess the same thing happens if people just repress their pain. They don't want to think about it or communicate it with any way. They just push it down constantly. So in that case, your brain has this amazing capability to just wall it off, compartmentalize it off, shut it off, create a wall, a barrier, so you don't have to feel the pain anymore. It's just in a completely different section of your brain that you can't even access. You can even like temporarily lose memories. You can't even recall what happened. It's crazy. So I think of that as like a wound on your skin that, has slowly started to scar over. It's created this like barrier. But it's a tougher wall than that. It's like an impenetrable wall. A scar is kind of a soft thing, Yeah, our body's crazy the way it can heal. It can just heal broken bones. You break a bone and then it hurts, and so you don't move it, and then it's just slowly like reforms. What the heck is that? It's crazy. So our bodies carry with them thousands and thousands of years of wisdom. They try to communicate with us and guide our behavior, tell us what to focus on, what's important, what's causing damage, how we need to change our behaviors to prevent harming ourselves. And the longer we ignore that, the more we're operating at our own peril. So now that I've told you about my friend Pain, maybe you'll think of him as a bit more of a friend as well. I hope you will.